everyone, and a warm welcome to this episode of Digital Dialogues powered by CXO Digital Pulse. Our today's guest has a wealth of experience managing diverse verticals within Reliance Geo, uh, including your telecom, sports, and agriculture. She's none other than Dr. Shivani Gupta. Our conversation will explore these strategic initiatives implemented, the impact of emerging technologies like GPT models, and the challenge and opportunities in integrating artificial intelligence into Greenfield projects. We also will be touching on methods to monetize these technologies and define a success matrix for innovative projects. A very warm welcome, Dr. Shivani.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And this is such a, you can say, hot topic in today's environment. So, love to talk about the practicalities of it and how businesses actually utilizing the AI and GPTs of the world would love to discuss that. So, thanks for
Great.
picking up this particular topic.
Yeah, Shivani, then directly I'll move to my first question. So, with your experience in managing all these diverse verticals within Reliance, and you also take care of greenfield projects in sports and agriculture. So, maybe in today's conversation, we will not be touching upon telecom because it's already, I would say, a pretty established vertical in terms of data modeling and the use of AI. We'll touch upon agriculture and the sports part because that's where I think the buzz, the opportunity of unexplored aspects lie. So, if you could just elaborate on the strategic initiatives that you have implemented to leverage data and machine learning across these two sectors.
A good question. Let me start with agriculture because that's the place where we are going to change millions of farmers' life in future. So, on a borderline, we would like to change farmers' life. We want to increase their income, what they are having today. That's the one, probably you can say, summarize entire journey in one statement. How is the place where we have to break down this problem into probably 100 and probably 500 different problems and try and probably compete with or come out with solutions at each and every space. This is one industry which has not seen much of this digitization in the past. So that is the biggest hurdle what we are seeing, that the availability of data is not there at any perspective, right? So there are a couple of government sites where we get the data with respect to the you can say aggregated yield at a district level, or what kind of you can say crops farmers have selected, etc. But that is at a very high level. So when we try and do something at a farmer level, there are a lot of difficulties. So when we started this journey, this is not a project, it's a big program which will take probably many years to even launch in a big, you can say, alpha way. And we are working on a couple of initiatives where how can we come up with alternate crops for farmers? How can we guide them on the journey of farming with respect to day-to-day decisions, to short-term and long-term decisions? And everything needs to be related to ROI, right? So mindset of
Obviously.
farmer today is that how can I increase the yield? But that should not be the motive of farmers because yield may not give them the best returns. So our objective is to give them idea about the entire journey where they should be able to gain maximum money out of it. So that's the place where we are eyeing on. That's the place where we are trying to you can say go, where everything should be related to how much ROI you can gain at end of the, you can say, farming cycle. um,
Okay.
yeah, any questions in this line, or I can jump to sports?
No, no, it's absolutely fine. I think once we get into the more greenfields one, and in case if any specific question comes, we'll pitch in.
Absolutely. So, I think if I go to the sports area, that is also one field where not of AI or digitization has happened in the past, right? Probably soccer is one area where lots have been done in the past. Basketball is another one where things are picking up. But the rest of the sports are still, I would say, greenfield projects, and people uh, that industry has not tried doing a lot of AI work or a lot of digital or data driven decision making in the process early on, right? So this is the place where because Reliance has footprint in many different sports, we are trying to do a lot of things in this area. We started with simple performance management platform where how can we identify the performance of a player with respect to their capabilities, either it is athlete, either it is a cricketer, either it is a badminton player or any other sport, regard to how do we measure the performance if you have 50 100 200 players in your bucket in your scouting team, how do you measure the performance, how do you rank them, right? So if I give a one simple example which everyone can understand is like cricketers, right? So if you talk about batsmen, there are many parameters which exist for each and every batsman, like their batting average, their batting strike rate, how many runs they have made, how many boundaries they have made, what time of the game they have made the run when it make more sense for winning the game, or it was just a normal match when they have scored these runs. So if you have so many parameters in the ecosystem and if you want to rank them, how do you come up with some indices which will represent them? One, when you have to take call in terms of which player needs to play in the playing 11, or you can say be part of playing 15, or what type of players we would like to go for auction in the entire journey. So many of the things come into the picture when we try to do performance management for players with respect to their capabilities, with respect to where they do good, where they do best from their capabilities. We try and slice and dice from that angle. So that's the place where one, data driven decision making is coming into the picture. Second, because now we are collecting lots and lots of data, right? So earlier it was only video feed or the scorecard which we used to have after the matches, but now we have entire video feed of entire match. We will get entire video feed even for domestic matches. We will get you can say if it's a racing event or if it is a athletic event, we will get all the video recording of these events, which help us to monitor and probably do a lot of slicing and dicing using computer vision capability. So that's the place we are trying to automate a lot of stuff. If you have great coach in each and every sport, each and every you can say state or scouting team, they will certainly do better job than what AI can do to start with. But we are trying to learn from their knowledge. We are trying to put that in algorithm, so where people cannot reach, where our experts cannot reach, we should be able to do the similar activity using AI. So that's the
Okay.
first step of automating the knowledge what we have from coaches and converting that to algorithm to standardize the process to start with.
Okay. So considering the kind of algorithm and the intensity even in sports is required, so do you think with the ongoing IPL fever, this is something which would be already in place and being utilized by the team members?
Yes and no. So a lot of teams are already doing that in IPL. If I talk about 10 teams, at least 5 teams are doing a good amount of AI work, I would say. But rest all, either it is not their strategy to take decisions on the basis of just data or data plus expertise, or some leave that to judgment of the coaches and you can say captains to decide the strategy. So AI is emerging in this area. We are not yet there where we can advise it, or nor we want to be there where we want to advise it to coaches or captains, but we would like to suggest the alternate or options which can be available in this area.
Okay. And as we have talked a lot about, the utilization of data within these two specific verticals. Now, also, AI is there on the base of GPT models, and the attention has increased tremendously towards these models. So, how are they currently impacting these greenfield projects, these two specific verticals that we talked about? And apart from GPT models, are there any other alternative tools that are there, uh, provided or available in the market, which have equally comparable benefits?
Very good question. So I'll give a couple of probably use cases where this can be utilized, right? So GPT is nothing but a large language model which is trying to understand a human conversation and giving you the response related to what exists with GPT or what you can train with your own data, right? So if I break down, for example, in agriculture, when we are trying to connect a farmer and trying to give any recommendation or advice to farmer, the place where GPT can be used, or we are at least started building on those models, are how can we create that conversation simple if a farmer is living in, for example, Chhattisgarh, and he is looking for a particular, you can say, pesticide or fertilizer for a particular crop. If he asks the question in a native language, in a voice processing or in a video, can my system understand that and provide the answer what is relevant from my, you can say, trained data set or trained knowledge base what I have created. So if I divide this into two parts, one is just understanding what a farmer is talking about, and second, identifying the right information from my knowledge base. So first place is the place where we use any large language model where the translation of a simple language happens and it converts to a technical language. And second part, it is just the filtration process where we use our own solutions to filter the answer or recommendation for that particular question and give it back to farmer. So that part, second part is the own training set. But the first part is where we are, at least right now, we are utilizing it. Probably conversion of what a person is asking to our, you can say, technical question. GPT is a kind of a term anyone and everyone is using because it is the most known terminology. If you are using the large language model, if you talk about LLM or Gen AI, the catch is not that much. But GPT now everyone is catching that no matter what. So GPT is one model where you can utilize it up to 3.5. It is commercially free, but after that, it is not free. We are using a lot of Mistral and Ministral model, which are around 47 billion models, and gives very good results. So there are a series of models, either it is Llama or it is Mistral or Ministral model. These are, or Vacuna, these are the other type of large language models which are giving equal kind of a result. One has to try different variation of these models with a different set of parameters and think about how it is working with your data set, with your, you can say, question answer and your problem statement. So it is still a trial and error. You have to try probably 8 to 10 different models and try and see where it is giving you best result and what kind of commercial, you can say, agreement you want to get in, right? So if it is open source, you can have the open source, you don't have to pay anything. But if the you can say your accuracy needs to be very very high, right? If you are looking for 99.9% accuracy and all, then you can go for some commercial model where you have to pay a little bit for each tokenization, but then the results would be equally good as well. So depending on the use case, depending on the criticality, depending on how much money you have to spare, all these decisions can be taken with a variety of different solutions which are available currently.
Okay. And Shivani, while you mentioned about all these critical aspects like the use cases, the usability, the challenges, if I specifically talk about India and considering the agriculture sector, it's just not about the training models, it's also about the localization, because there are numerous local languages within India as a nation. And when we are specifically working on the agriculture sector, that challenge increases drastically, because as a country we are known that within I think 100 kilometers the language changes.
Right.
So
52.
what, yeah, what is okay, so what is the approach right now? Is it restricted to certain nodes within India, or already there is some amount of work being done in terms of local language adoption in these models?
Beyond before LLM came into the picture, we already had couple of languages which are you can say getting translated with each and every vertical. So I have worked with a couple of healthcare projects also, and there also we have felt that having a native language with a voice processing is very important, because if you are trying to touch the sector who does not have much of you can say resources, you need to rely on the telephone handset which is available today with nearly 88% of the household in India. Whatever you can try and deliver it through a mobile phone, that is the only, you can say, solution going to reach to millions and billions of people and can be utilized to the maximum. So certainly languages are coming into the picture. We are trying hard to train these solution in multiple languages, but I think we have only touched tip of the iceberg. Only 3 or 4 languages we are able to crack at this point of time, but rest
Okay.
are still yet to be developed. I think all the major technological giant, either it is Microsoft or Google or AWS, all are trying to create that or train the models with respect to these native languages, where we would be able to utilize the LLM, but they're at a very early stage at this point of time. We haven't got very good success apart from top 2 or 3 languages at this point of
Okay.
time, but maybe in next 3 months things will change.
Okay. So that clearly states a lot of work is already there in
Going on.
progress for it. Okay. And if you can share some notable use cases within the agriculture greenfield projects where AI is adding significant value to the end consumers, and what are the specific challenges that you would have encountered in adoption of these particular projects?
See, as I talked about, data is the biggest problem what we have today. If, for example, I'll talk about the highest level, right? So, if government of India wants to project that what is going to be the crop of a particular state or a district or a village, right? It is all guesstimation, right? They do not have a very strong ground level reality with them. It happens only after the crop is already out and it reaches the mandi. That's the time period we get to know about the total production, or how much it is going to be utilized, how what is the pricing and everything, right? So it is majority of the time it is reactive in nature. In order for us to go predictive in nature, what we have started, we are starting with the farmer level, where we are, for example, farm boundaries, right? Even that is not available digitally today with government of India also. So if you want to say that, okay, I am a farmer, I have a 5 different farmlands in a particular region, how do you classify that farmland with rest of the village? That is the first exercise we are starting with. Second probably use case would be identifying the crops without depending on the farmers, right? So we use a lot of satellite data to go and identify that, okay, this is a paddy, this is a sugarcane, this is a cotton, etc. So some of the projects are already at a mature stage, others we are working on. But idea is, once we are able to identify the farmlands, once we are able to identify the crop type, Then we have all the other data like soil type, your weather conditions, you can say your previous history of harvesting or yield with respect to individual region, with respect to localized weather and other details. We can project that in a particular village or a taluka or a district, what is going to be the production of crops. And that's the place we are starting with, but it has to be in a reverse direction once we stable the process. So if we go in this direction, we at least will be able to come up with the projected you can say yield of each and every crop. But that is
Mhm.
late in terms of understanding demand and supply of the region, right? So assume in for example, in Bangalore, there is a demand of 100,000 quintal of tomatoes. We see every year either it is tomato or onion or potato or some or other crop shoots up 100 plus rupees per kg in a year, right?
Yes.
That can be avoided if the supply and demand condition can be looked upon at a starting stage itself. What happens once that price shoots up? Every farmer wants to go for that particular crop, and then we have oversupply and the prices drop. So forget about 100, they are not even going to receive like 10 rupees per kg in the future because of
Mhm.
overproduction. That
Okay.
entire optimization is key for to increase the farmer's income, and it has to be done by government of India, where they should have a way to optimize the crop with respect to supply and demand with each and every region, right? Farmers cannot go to very far off mandi to sell their crops. They will go to the probably nearby mandis, and if the demand is of that mandi is less than entire supply, then certainly they are not going to get the right price. So it has to work. Farmers have to understand that they need to work in harmony. It's not about which crop you're selecting. It is the crop which has more demand. You should select with respect to which has high you can say demand, and which you can sow in with your weather condition, soil condition, etc. That's the future of agriculture where probably we want to go. That is one stage in India where we want to probably optimize that entire demand supply condition with giving the highest ROI. Second, I think the vertical farming has already started in India, but that is going to pick up really fast because by 2050 we will require nearly 1 plus 1.75 times more yield than what we are getting right now, because our
Okay.
population is going increasing that much. So in order for us to reach there, we have to identify multiple sources in order to cultivate more, in order to get us more yield in future.
Okay. And why you have been mentioning that, it's primarily the yield, because that's how even the farmer is going to benefit. But when it comes to, from an organization perspective, who is helping to bridge this gap in utilization and adoption of technology by the farmers, for that specific organization, while they are incurring so much of effort and money in the R&D, how do you assess the ROI from the organizational perspective?
See, multiple ways. I think this is more of a welfare project for Reliance, where it is part of Reliance Foundation. So we are not looking for the ROI to start with, but I'm sure
Okay.
we will figure it out on a way, because we have so many verticals. Retail is one of our biggest vertical where we require all the you can say farm products, and that can be aligned in future with retail business also, right? So you will have idea about where to buy the best you can say rice or best wheat or a particular crop, and then you can align work with farmers to give them best price with you can buy in a best price also. So a lot of opportunities are there, at least for technological companies, where they have a vast vertical landscape, and they will be able to figure it out best way to create the ROI for themselves as well.
Mhm. Sure. And talking about it a broader greenfield projects rather than specifically to agriculture, because still there's a lot of nuances that needs to be taken care of. So while every project needs to attain the business value for the organization, how do you define the success metrics for the greenfield projects?
See, every project has a different value and different metrics to follow, right? So, when our project is still going in beta, when we have launched for a couple of farmers. So, at a first step, adoption itself is a biggest success for us. If we are looking for 10,000 farmers and we have given access to this particular tool to 10,000 farmers, we want them to use this on a day-to-day basis and give us the data and information which is going to benefit them, right? So many times starting with these projects, adoption with business, adoption in a decision making process, adoption at a customer level itself becomes one of the biggest hurdle and KPI for us to start with, right? The other places where it is more about accuracy, about ROI, about customer satisfaction has a different horizon altogether, right? So if I, it may not be directly applicable to Greenfield project, and many people ask that how do you connect the AI projects to monetization or ROI, right? So one, it depends on the use case what you are dealing with, right? So assume you are trying to identify the coupon rate in a telecom project, right? If you are sending 1,000 coupons on a customer base on a daily basis, how many it is converting, you will get the ROI in a day's time, right? And you will also understand the benefit our AI project is making to this kind of problem statement. But if you talk about how AI is changing a farmer's life, it is a very long cycle, right? I may be able to give that probably after 2 years, right? That okay, today I am seeing farmers at an average earning of a certain you can say 1,000 or whatever money it is, and how I can change that gradually over the period of time. So
Mhm.
one is ROI, another is time, and third is the accuracy of how, where, and where AI is coming into the picture and making that change. So when we start any AI project, I think the one big thing which we have learned from our own mistakes, that create a baseline, right? Create a baseline with respect to where that particular problem the customer base are at this point of time. Either it is with respect to digitization, either it is with respect to key matrices. For example, in farmers case, their ROI, their yield, how many different crops they are able to you can say grow in every year, and probably their last 2-3 years of journey. Consider that as a base. After 2 or 3 years, once we probably roll out AI solution, at least for 1 year, then see if it is making a delta difference and how much is the delta difference from every perspective. So that's the way any AI project is measured. Here it is more about farmers journey, farmers experience, and ultimately the ROI, which is going to make the you can say biggest KPI difference what one can think about.
Great. It was definitely pretty comprehensive explanation that you have given. Thank you so much for sharing these insights with us, because it really gives us the understanding that how important is it to, at a base level, understand the use cases. The next definitely lies on data, data accessibility, availability, along with the accuracy of the data. That is really important to build those LLM models, because until unless that accurate data and valid data is not available, the success of these models completely is dependent on data only. We look forward to see how AI will be exploring and touching the lives of people across India, because to what where we are today, there's already a decade of good amount of work that has gone at the base level with the data and AI, and attaining that level of success to small projects such as agriculture also, it's It's wait and watch. Patience is required, but I'm sure the humongous amount of effort that is being put by you and other organization, we'll really look forward to it.
Certainly, I think these are the areas where impact, even if it is a very slight 1% impact, think about how many lives it is going to change, right? So, and as you rightly said, that data is the major, you can say, foundation for any AI work. Either it is a simple AI ML model or DL model, or now the LLM type of models. It's always rows in, rows out, garbage in, garbage out, right? So that cycle needs to be corrected, and it's a very lengthy process. But once you realize that data, what you are getting today, is not good enough, you have to initiate the cycle of capturing the data. It will take 3 months, 6 months, maybe year, 2 years. But after 2 years, you will have a clean data to modify and take your solutions to the next level overnight.
To completely agree. Thank you so much, Shivani, to be being with us today. And a special thanks for our viewers for tuning in with us. And do watch out for our next episode for more insightful discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I hope these AI revolution, what we are going through, it is going to impact each and every person, at least in our country and beyond as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much.